Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought let me start putting out some techniques there instead of doing sceneries. So the camera only records about 20 minutes and I think my mic is picking up all the noise on the street. I can't help it. I haven't soundproof the room. Anyway, hope you all can ignore all of that and just concentrate on what I'm trying to teach here. Anyway, so today we're going to be working on not a canvas board but a canvas pad. This is fine art canvas pad. This is a product of Pidilite. Let me focus that for you guys. This is a product of Pidilite. I think even Fevicryl is by Pidilite. It has titanium priming, it's ideal for acrylic and oils. This is actually much more cost effective because you get a lot of canvas sheets inside and they're really toothy, and you can actually create some very good pieces, and they don't smell because it's acid free. And that's the one thing that I really like about this brand. One of my gurus, one of my teachers, she introduced me to this brand, and since then I'm hooked, and I sort of try and stick to this. So anyway, let's get into it. This video is going to be about blending techniques. We'll do a series of just acrylic paints, and I'll teach you techniques and mark making and blending and coloring and everything. We will discuss all of that, and then we'll go medium by medium. After acrylic, maybe oil or watercolors. Anyway, this was a much requested video, so here we go. Feel free to jump ahead when I'm talking like this if you're bored, and please ignore the vegetable wala on the road. I really can't help this because I can't record later when I'm teaching, because I don't know what my mindset was while I was doing a certain technique. So this is how it works. First, let's talk about materials and all the different kinds of paint that I have used over the years. I actually started out with Pidilite's Fevicryl Acrylic colors. I've used this for at least 3 years, and then I graduated to Camel. I'm gonna focus. Okay, yeah, if you can see that there, I think that's better. Yeah, so this is Pidilite's Fevicryl. Like I said, I've been using this I used this for a very long time. It's a great acrylic, great set of paints for beginners, even professionals actually. But then it's quite runny by nature. Let me show it to you. It's quite runny. It's not thick enough. I need thick paints if I'm doing something really elaborate, and this is really good actually. There are mediums that you can mix with this and thicken it if that's what you're intending. But if you're a beginner and you're looking to do like a simple scenery and maybe just like a flower or something, this is really good. I have a lot of these paints just simply lying with me. I'll just check which ones are good and maybe I can give away a few. So after this, I graduated to let me just take it out. Camel Artist Acrylic Colors. I graduated to these, and I've been using them at least for 10 years now, and they come in these huge tubes. Each each color costs different, and Camel has been a #1 winner with every artist here around, at least in India, at least in Bangalore, at least. You know, I hope that's focusing. So I have like a dozen of these colors. I never buy sets. If I've mentioned in my previous videos, I buy only individual colors so I can mix and create them. So this is one, and this one, this is Liquitex. I hope that's focusing. Yeah, Liquitex Basics is a world famous and world loved brand, you know. I'm actually waiting to finish off all of my Camel acrylic paints and then invest in these, because they're the same, almost the same price. About this tube, this is black, this is ivory. I hope that's focusing again. I have to keep focusing with this. This is ivory black, and it costs about 284 rupees. So yeah, this is an excellent brand, but I wouldn't suggest this brand to beginners. This is a professional brand. Beginners, if you want to jump, y'all can. You know, there is no restriction. If you want to use something else, go ahead. If you don't want to use beginner, but you want to directly use the professional ones, just go ahead. Nobody gives a crap. Nobody gives a damn. Just go ahead and jump. If you can splurge, if you can spend, go ahead, buy it. Okay, now let's move on to brushes that I use. Again, I was introduced to Pidilite fine art brushes by my teacher Shaila Prasad. I have actually 3 different teachers I learned from, and then most of it was self-taught. So this is the one brand that you know, I have been using for at least a decade. They're really good. They don't shed. They've lasted me years. I haven't had new purchases in a very long time. I hope that's really visible. Let me focus. Yeah, that's Pidilite's fine art brushes. These are very cost effective and beginner friendly, professional friendly. These are amazing, you guys. Really, these are really amazing. Then recently I purchased another brand. This is from Amazon actually. I think Sabaz something. I don't know. I found this on Amazon. Really. Let me focus. Okay, this is, I'm gonna keep my hand and try this. Okay, so this is Corot artist brushes, and oh my god, they're amazing. They're so soft. They're super soft. You might have to trim it a bit in the edges, on the edges. Let me focus again. Yeah, I don't know if that's focusing. Okay, so you might want to trim it a little bit because it's you know, too sharp towards the edge. It's too sharp here, and you know, if you want to make some marks, you know, it's going to be really hard because it's too pointy and like this. It's too pointy. So some of them I have trimmed myself. I just spread it out like this and then chip off the parts that I don't want sticking out. Okay, so that was brushes. So we have paints, we have brushes. Then there's another set of brushes that I'd like to talk about. Now this is very unconventional. That's makeup brushes. Yes, you heard me right. What I use are Nykaa's makeup brushes. Any kabuki kind looking brushes would do. Okay, I use these to blend. When people ask me how my blending is so stellar and perfect, I'd like to give a huge shout out to makeup brushes, because this is how I blend. They're really soft, they hardly shed, and I invested in Nykaa's brushes because they're cost effective and they last long and they hardly shed. Then I found DU Care. I'm also a person who is a makeup enthusiast. I know professional makeup, so I have a lot of makeup brushes myself. So DU Care is another set of brushes that I invested, and it's available on Amazon. These are available on Nykaa. I use them for oil and acrylic blending, and even acrylic gouache. This technique won't work with watercolors, so you might want to use these brushes only for acrylic, oil and acrylic gouache. I'll show you how I use them. That's the whole point of this video. Yes, you need smaller ones too to blend the smaller areas. Okay, I think we're done with brushes. Next, I'd like to mention you need one spray bottle. You need it. I'll tell you why. The thing is, when you're blending, you need the bottom layer to be slightly wet. So keep it out. Water, spray. I'll show you how I use this. And I'm so sorry about that noise. I hope it's the camera is not picking it up. So I have about at least 2 spray bottles with me all the time when I'm painting, if I want it slightly wet, or even I use it even on watercolors if I want the base to stay slightly wet, because I'm adding in more color, because it dries fast, and acrylic dries even more fast. So working with acrylic paints is crucial because of the nature of the paint. Anyway, so this you must have with you at all times while painting. Okay, so let's move on to the techniques. In this video we're going to be discussing only about blending. Get back, practice, come back, and then we will talk about so many other techniques that I will be putting up. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's start. I'm obviously going to use the paints I like. So I'm using Camel's Artist Acrylic colors. Just pick any color you want and let's practice the technique first. Here I'm going to be teaching you how to blend. Now that seems to be the biggest issue that any newcomer, any new budding artist, whoever, we all started with acrylics, right? We all started with acrylics. At least I did. I started with acrylic paints. So, and then I moved on to oil, and then I moved on to, I touched watercolors in the very last. So anyway, just pick up any color you want, and I'll teach you how, and let's see how we can blend. Okay. Okay, so let me put that on the palette this thing. So you might want to have something like this. This is actually a drawing board, and on that I have sort of taped the foil paper on it, so that you know, I can mix and do and whatever I want, and then just wrap it up and just throw it, because I am just too lazy to sit and wash my plate, especially when I'm doing acrylic paints. I need space, I cannot waste time, I don't have time to leave the painting and go and come back unless I'm expecting the painting to dry quickly. So that's one. And another thing, of course you will need 2 jars of water, one clean and one you will be mixing in. So that's 2 jars of water, and then you will be needing a waistcloth to wipe the brush. You cannot leave acrylic paints on the brush. You will spoil the brush. It's going to be difficult to clean later, and it will get stuck in the edges, and then that's the end of that brush. Oh, by the way, do not throw any brush. There's always a use for it. That's that. And then make sure you have a paper towel here like this, folded. This is tissue paper towel, the ones that we use in the kitchen. Just fold it and just keep it aside to dab off excess water, excess paint. I'll keep showing you as I keep going ahead. Okay, so imagine you're doing the sky, right? So I'm going to be taking a number 10 size brush and a number 20 of the Corot variation. If you're figuring it out with the fine art brushes, choose a size accordingly. And I will be using one makeup brush. You also get these kind of brushes. They're called mop brushes. You get them in certain brands too, but not all of them make them the way I want it, like this. So that's why I still buy makeup brushes and not invest in an actual mop brush, because it doesn't really serve the purpose that I'm looking for. Anyway, say you're looking to do just some blending. Let me focus again. The camera seems, it just doesn't keep focusing at all. Okay, that's better. Okay, so yeah, so dip into some water. Yes, acrylic paints are water soluble, but they're not, you cannot reactivate them with water. So once dry, it's done. That's it, you have to throw it. Okay, so I'm gonna just mix some paint. Let me just show you. By the way, I always have a knife to do the mixing. I take little of this, put it here, little of this, put it here, mix the color I want, and then go ahead and then add water, and that's it. So right now I'm going to use the brush alone. I know the materials seem to be very overwhelming. I'd suggest you just relax, take some time and peacefully watch this video with some coffee, with some tea, with some milk, water, juice, whatever. Write it down and come back, watch again, maybe watch in breaks, so that you actually completely understand. So I'm just mixing the paint. Oh, by the way, go thin over thick over thin. Start with thin layers and then build, and then place thicker layers. We will get into that later. So I'm just going to make some paint here. So we're just learning some blending techniques in this video, just about materials and blending techniques in this video, so that you all can go practice, come back, and we can go further, because this seems to be the biggest problem that a lot of budding artists actually face, because blending is a problem, and if that sucks, then the whole painting sucks. So you see, it's a very light, a very diluted thing. It doesn't need to be water activated like I mean the sheet, since it's canvas, it doesn't need water, so it's still kind of wet. So now I want to blend this with, say, red. Okay, so I'm not dipping this in water. I'm just going to pick up some red. I'm going to add some more water. Now I want this side to stay yellow and this side to stay red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip it in water. I'm gonna clean. I hope this is visible. I'm gonna dip it in water. I'm gonna clean my brush. I'm gonna come back, take away the excess dab off the excess water, and then excess paint. It is going to turn slight orange. You want to pick up some more paint here. Just keep watching what I'm doing. It's slightly difficult for me to talk while I'm doing this. So I'm gonna add some more paint here, and then blend. I'm dabbing off extra. Do not take up extra this thing. I think I need more, so I'm gonna take more, and I'm going extra here, and going just more thicker here, and it's slightly watery, so it's sort of blending on its own, so I don't want that. I want a thick horizon. Oops. That's okay. We can fix that. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get this properly sitting. I'm taking off all the anything extra I see, and there you have it. This takes a lot of practice, and you see it merges. You see that? Okay, now while the paint is still wet, let me show you the next technique. Yeah, so I'm gonna add some more paint here. Now I'm gonna add some green there. I'm gonna clean my brush. Okay, dab off the excess water on the, maybe I'll place that here so you can see. Dab off the excess water, and then it's still wet, and if I think it's drying, I have my water spray here, okay, ready. Okay, always have this ready. I sort of have it like an eraser in my hand, you know, like a kid when you're drawing with the right hand and you have the eraser in the left hand. Yeah, pick up some green, just any color you want. You're learning the technique, so don't really be bothered about what paint you're using. So I'm gonna just pack on this thing. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone, and then I'm gonna pick up a smaller brush, maybe dip in some paint, and then I'm doing swirls, I'm doing circles. So I'm blending this, I'm doing circles, you see, circles. I'm gonna take some more red. I'm doing it in circles. Hold the brush here, don't go here. You cannot keep it here. Get used to doing this. This takes a lot of practice. Some more green, Yes, it's going to look a little muddy this way. Pick up some yellow. I'm doing swirls. You see? I'm dab 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 like this. Dab 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 dab. Okay, and then I'm doing this. I'm actually showing you how it's moving there. Okay, this is just a little bit of blending that I have done. Okay, and then pick up a blending brush. I don't want that one, I want a smaller one, and I'm doing this motion. I don't know if that's actually seen. This motion. Let me focus my hand. Ooh, battery low. Okay, let's do that quickly. I'm doing this swirly motion. This is what I'm doing. Okay, just watch. And now I'll focus back. Okay, just look at how beautiful that became. And I'm gonna wipe off the extra. You want the brush dry, don't dip it in water. You want the brush dry. Just look at that. Look at that. Just look at that magic. I'm gonna touch a little bit of paint, yellow a little bit. Dab 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 dab. I'm gonna use a paper towel instead. It's just much more easier. You see these lines appearing? No, I don't want that. That's when I use my water. I spray some water, and you see that? You see that? That's why I want some water. Oh, I ended up spraying this side, so never mind, we can fix it. Dab of excess paint, and now we'll move on to green. I'll blend the ends, and the thing about acrylic paints is blend the ends first and then go into the center, you know. Blend, 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 blend. Understand the motion, see what I'm doing. Now, I don't care about this cleanliness. If it's I'm someone who likes a little, a little muddy look, but you can go straight on with some yellow. Okay, keep dabbing off excess. You want to clean it off on the tissue and blend. That's it. Just look at that. Just look at that. You can go on this with let this dry completely. If you're too impatient, use a hair dryer and completely dry it and let it sit for about a second, and then go on with extra paint and then go right ahead. Okay, so let's break down how I did this again. Okay, so let's go over that again. I'm going to wet the brush again. Now at this point I can actually use, that's another way I blend, by the way. Just wipe, pick up extra paint, I'm doing this. Okay, then I'm taking some yellow, blend, 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 blend. Let's use some lemon yellow, shall we? It's not opening. Okay, I'm gonna put it there directly. I'm just a little lazy. could sit and do this for hours. This is a dabbing technique. All I'm doing is this. That's all I'm doing. But I'm moving fast. I'm gonna spray some water here. Getting in some red. We don't want that. We want the red to stay here. Now I'm being very light-handed here. I'm gonna add some thick paint. And now I'm just gonna wipe off the extra if it is there, and then just even if that's not working, take another dry brush. That works. It's becoming a little muddy. I think I want to go with thicker paint. Yeah. This technique works best with thick paints. The actual blending technique with the brush. I'm doing swirls here. Like that. You see? Dab off anything extra. Dab off anything extra. Pick up some paint. Oh, I'm sorry. Stupid iPad. Dab off extra. You want it not lifting any paint. Yes, sometimes I actually hold my brush this way. Keep going at it till you've got it right. I haven't planned this video, so if I'm making mistakes, hey. One more tip: when you're using canvas sheets, you might want to tape it down to a table and then do it. Wipe off, wipe off, wipe off extra, wipe off extra. And that's it. Looks decent. I haven't actually done the proper thing. I actually go in with the makeup brush when it is thick paint. Otherwise, I just use my brushes. I'll show you how I blend properly with my brushes. So I have a clean brush here, and I'm just going to pick up some green, and I'm just going to draw a leaf. You need to dilute a lot more, a lot more to get a clean sweep, because the canvas is a little toothy. When I say toothy, I mean rough. So I'm gonna add in some water. I'm gonna go with actually some I'm teaching the next blending technique. Now you want this layer to be partially dry to go in with the next one. So I'm gonna go with some thick paint. For acrylic paints, you might want to go from dark from okay, I have to write that actually. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, so we have acrylic pens here. From dark to light. So you put the dark shade first and then you go over it with the light shade. That's not the case in watercolors. You want to go in watercolors, you do light first, dark next. So with oil and acrylic, you go with the darker shade first and then you go with the lights and details on that. Yeah. Acrylic. So I've written that there. So I've gone here with some thick paint. Now I need this to be about partially dry for me to go in with the next shade, go in with the shading technique. So I'm just showing you a basic. You might want to use thick paint. That's why I prefer Camel acrylic paints. They're thick, they're not runny. See, I don't like these uneven this thing. Sometimes it's okay, but I just dip in some water and yeah. So let that dry a bit and then we'll come back and see how we can do the rest. I think I'll go in a little bit with the light green here. I just dipped into light green. I didn't use any water. So I'm not looking for perfection here. I'm just trying to teach you guys the technique. You see that I used the previous blending technique we spoke about. You just work your way up. So that's a clean finish. Now you want this dry, at least partially dry, until you go in with the next one. Okay, yeah. Let's come back to it. Okay, so that's actually completely dry now. I actually used a hairdryer because I'm just a little impatient. So I'm gonna use some yellow and let me just mix here right in front of you guys. I'm gonna mix some yellow, some green, a little bit of white, a little bit of that dark green, so it's a little light now. I think I want some more light green, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of that lemon yellow. I'm not gonna dilute it too much, just a little bit so the paint can move. I'm using a number 4 brush, small one. Now I want some dimension here. So what I'm gonna do is, and then wipe off the excess. and then not into the paint, just in the corners of where I applied it. That's it. That's it. I'm doing swirls, just to make that clear, just with some water. I'm doing swirls. This is the motion I'm going with. Yeah. So let's pick up some more of that paint and giving it some more dimension here. I put some excess water there. That's okay. I want it to look that way. So I'm not going inside the thick area, only the corners. I'm blending out only the corners. I'm going with swirls like this, circle motion. Just taking off the excess. Just some more of that towards the end here, so we can make it a little light. Take off the excess and just blend it. I'm doing this now. You will actually end up learning and making your own different kinds of I'm going to use a little more product, some more water. I'm going to build it up here. I'm going to add some more of that light green here and a little bit of that yellow. Wipe, I think, yeah. And our previous technique, remove extra. Don't go touch water, just the ends. Yeah, just the ends. You want it to look natural. If you think the brush has too much product, go just touch the water, pull out the brush immediately, and then wipe off the excess. You see how I'm wiping off the excess, wipe off the excess, and then come back again. Let me show you that here again. Okay, I'm just going to reactivate this paint here. It's not completely dry. What I did, I placed the paint like this. I applied it completely, and then I wiped off the excess. I didn't go inside, only in the corners I gave swirls. I'm just dab, swirl, dab, a little sweep like that. Before it dries quickly. Let's just add some more paint. I want it a little bit more. You see, I'm blending that out with some swirls. If that's too much paint, take out the small blending brush of the makeup brush. Make sure it's dry and has no color on it, and just dab and pull the paint. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna put some more color here. Put some little water, and that's it. Now I want some yellow here, so I'm gonna pick up some yellow. I'm gonna place that yellow. You see? Swirl, 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 dab, 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 swirl, swirl, dab, 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 dab. Yes, practice like that. See how beautiful that is. Now I want that yellow to be seen a little more. What I should have done was added some white, blended that out. And then pick up some yellow and go on over it. So that actually became green. Pick up some yellow and go over it so that yellow pops. Any color you want it to pop, put a lighter color, mostly white, and go over it. You see the difference between this yellow and this yellow? Yeah. Yeah. Perfect, huh? So perfect it looks. I'm sorry. So let's go over our mark making again. Let's go over our this thing. So the first one was just basic blending like this. With hardly any water. That's one. Next was our makeup brushes. That's again, it's beautiful. Next we learned swirls. We learned swirl, dab, 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 swirl, dab, 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 swirl. See, I'll blend it, I'll show you here itself. I'm going only in the corners. I am not touching inside. Don't go inside. Just the corners. Dab, 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 dab. This takes a lot of practice. I have at least 10 years of experience under my cap. Some water. You can lift off excess water. You can just wipe it off on the paper, excess product. Dab, 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 dab. I actually learned this from BK Swarma sir. He's also one of my teachers. Watching him, I have watched him for hours and hours and hours and hours. Just watching him work. So there's that. So this video was about blending, different kinds of blending techniques. In the final of all of these series, we will do an acrylic piece, maybe a scenery, a nice scenery that involves all the techniques, and then, you know, maybe then y'all can get much better idea. Now, so this is the whole thing. So that was that. We did that, and we did this. So those were the blending techniques. Hope you had a great time. Please practice. Practice makes perfect. Please practice. I had to use green. Invariably, I ended up using green to teach you guys. Okay, next video we will actually concentrate on some more of acrylic paint techniques. This video was about materials and blending techniques. Go practice, create something, make a mess out of it, have fun. Please don't forget to have fun and come right back. And oh, please subscribe, please follow, please leave a comment. Any doubts, leave it in the comment section. I will answer them. And yeah, bye, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.